Hello.
Hello. How
How are
are we
you?
doing?
Good.
I'm doing great. A little feedback.
And we didn't have that when we were practicing. We just had the freezing and thawing. Can everybody else hear?
It was working.
I don't hear feedback. If everybody could let us know if they're hearing feedback or not, that would be great. Hello, Travel Adventures with Eric B. Thanks so much for being here.
I think it sounds
Sherry,
better
where
now.
are you? Where are you right now?
Tucson, Arizona.
And where are you going?
Quartzsite, Arizona.
Nice. You've done a lot of traveling. How many miles have you put on recently?
Wow. So Fort Myers, Florida to Ocala, Florida to Jacksonville, Florida to Georgia, and now here. So over 2,000 in a
Wow.
week.
Wow. So you visited some family and now are you going to stay in Quartzsite for the winter?
It looks like that. It's all up in the air. We're just winging it.
Flying by the seat of your pants.
Yep, something I've never done before in my life.
How are you handling it?
I think pretty good. It's been an interesting journey, learning a lot about how powerful women can be and how we're pretty awesome.
Did you realize that you were as strong as you are?
No, had no clue. Had no clue. I thought, 2 months ago I was broken, and I'm fixed. And it's miles and it's gaining confidence again. Yeah, it's been an absolutely crazy journey in a way that I never would have thought it was going to be.
So it sounds like it's a highway of healing for you.
Absolutely. I think it is. I think I've seen things I've never seen before. Every corner we take, every day that we travel, we've come across obstacles and we've solved the issues and we have plowed through. And at the end of the day, we're like, we did it.
Awesome.
Next destination, let's slay it.
So you say we. Are you traveling with someone or caravanning? How is that?
I'm caravanning with Artists on the Road.
Oh, cool. Hello, hello. Also traveling grannies here. Victoria May Wallace.
She's right over there in her, she's in her
Jill.
room.
So you guys are just kind of deciding together how long you're going to be in Quartzsite? Like, do you plan on sticking together for a certain amount of time, or that's up in the air as well?
As far as I know, we're just gonna stick it together, stay together.
Good.
See where it goes.
So you're never alone.
No.
That's awesome.
No, it's been pretty cool. I see she's in here. She's in the chat. She's like, we high five and go to bed.
Yeah, I saw some pictures on your Instagram too. You've been keeping up with that. And then today you showed me a video of the road and it was interesting. It's so different, isn't it?
I came from mountains, but I came from Green Mountains in Virginia. So we had the rolly mountains and it was just green and beautiful. And then this is desert and rocky and cactus. It's crazy beautiful.
Totally different scenery.
Mm-hmm. And we're driving two vehicles, Artists on the Roads, Class A is about 30 years old. My van is 20 years old. So, along with age comes, issues.
Or rebuilt stronger and better. So part of the process.
We're learning about them. She knows what makes, she knows how to handle the mountains in her rig. And I've learned to just follow behind her and let her take the lead when we're going over the mountains. And I navigate the rest of the way. So, you know, we're figuring it all out.
Is it very different driving a completely different rig out in the mountains?
Mm-hmm.
Because that scares me. That's something I'm really worried about doing.
Yeah, I've learned that I have like a sweet spot. So if I can like hit 60 and stay at 60 up the mountain, I'm good. But as soon as I slow down, that's it. I'm done. I'm down to like 40. So I just have to like put it in and go. And for her, when she was behind me, when we first started doing this, we were trying to figure out how to do this. And at first I was leading and she was following behind me. And so she needs the momentum. So she's going down the mountain and we have walkie-talkies. So we're going down the mountain to go back up the mountain. And she's like, go, 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 go. And I look up and she's like, right on my back end. And I'm like, boom. So that's why it's like when we're doing the mountains, it's better for her to lead. But it's literally, she's like, go, 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 go.
Or get the hell out of my way.
Yeah.
Well, at least you've kind of figured out what your power will handle, right?
Mm-hmm.
I put this comment up because I completely agree with Jill. You look like you have that spark in your eyes.
Oh, awesome.
You look so much happier than I've seen you in a long time.
I am feeling great. Well, other than being really, really tired. I'm not quite sure of the time, like what time it is and the time zones. And we've slept in crazy places, you know, pilots and Cracker Barrels and all kinds of truck stops. I see Lance has a question.
Yeah. So what are some of the problems that you've had with your rigs? What are some of the things you've learned about it other than the mountains?
For me, the van is performing really, really well. I'm absolutely pleased with how it's performing. I'm having no problems with my van.
Awesome.
Because I've learned how to control the power. I have a little bit of electrical issues. I'm learning the solar. I didn't put the solar in, so it wasn't my install. So I'm trying to figure out how things are hooked together. And I'm having some issues with I have a residential refrigerator, just a little dorm size, that's hooked to my battery that's generated by or done by my solar.
Mm-hmm.
So it won't keep it powered up. The refrigerator pulls too much from the battery. Mm-hmm. So I can't keep the refrigerator running off of my solar. So that's been a bummer. I haven't had a refrigerator all the time.
Fridge is an expensive upgrade.
Mm-hmm. Well, I ordered the Apple Cool, so the 12-volt fridge I think will solve the problem.
Yeah, I have a 12-volt. The only thing is that I wished I did different, Sherry, is I wished I would have saved up and bought a bigger one. I just have an 18-liter. So what is that in your quarts? 4 quarts?
Yeah, that's small. I have to look it up and see which one I got. It's a dual zone. So I had the fridge freezer.
Oh, well, then yours is definitely bigger than mine. That sounds, if I did it again, that's what I would buy.
Yeah. And then I got the converter so that I could actually plug it in. So I can use my solar. I have a plug that's hooked to my battery so that I could still use my solar for that. And I think it would work fine.
Oh, good. So you have it planned both ways. Mm-hmm. You're so smart.
So I will get that when we get to Quartzsite. It's ordered. It's actually been delivered to somebody. I had it shipped to somebody else who's going to then bring it to me to Quartzsite.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of people there that you're planning?
Shopping?
What?
I'm looking forward to going shopping and getting fresh food.
Oh, you haven't had any for a while?
Mm-mm.
Oh. But you'll be settled for a while, so that'll feel good too.
Yeah.
because you're driving a new rig and it's older, do you ever get some of that? Okay, this is how I feel, so let me know if you ever have this too, but I literally feel nauseous. I feel stressed when I'm driving, even when things are fine, because I'm so worried that something's going to happen. Because you feel that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We've hit some really rough roads and where you're doing this. And the first thing that pops into my head is, oh crap, I'm getting ready to have a tire go down. You know, and I'm looking at my PMS and I'm like, looks good, 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 good. You know, and then we hit another road where it was just this whistling noise. And so I thought, you know, oh, great, you know, something is going on. No, it was the road. But, you know, immediately you think of what's going wrong, what's going to happen.
It's like we have that acute hearing for anything that could be a possible problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And maybe it's because we're women that have raised children that we're used to listening for things to go wrong.
That could be. That could be. Very much. And, you know, when we first started taking off, it was, you know, you have to have everything put away and everything just right to travel. So travel mode is different than living mode. So it took us, probably both of us, a day or two to really get that mode down good so that we weren't like pulling out and things were falling off the shelves and doors weren't opening. And, you know, now it is, we're leaving and it takes us 10 minutes and we're boom, boom, boom. And we're all ready to head out, and we leave when it's still dark out.
Well, that's awesome that you have that set up, because I know I'm going to be making changes when I'm in mine more, because I mean, you don't want, if you're moving a lot, you don't want to have too much stuff out because it's so much extra work. You wouldn't really want to set everything out until you're planted for a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have downsized even along the way. There's been things I've gotten rid of since we left.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm just like, yeah, don't need this trash. I've left things, I think, in just about every Pilot, Station Loves, and Cracker Barrel along the way.
And it's just because you're not using it. Like, are you trying to make more room or reduce the weight, or
make more room? Make more room, because this is not only my home, this is my daily driver. So, you know, wherever we end up and wherever we land, this is my driver. This is what I will drive in. This is my only vehicle. I don't have a car. So if I have to, every time I'm going to go to the store, I have to put everything away and tie everything down, that's going to get old really, really quick.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So I want to make it comfortable. And Aaron's, is the driver's window still up? So Aaron fixed my window. My driver's side window had never went down and I tried, and the motor broke. And so my window came crashing down. So I had it duct taped up and met with Aaron, and he's like, you know, that really looks bad. I'm like,
hey, it works. Duct tape is like girl's best friend.
It worked. So he took all the tape off. He took the door off, and he got a board and he shoved the board in there. So it's holding my window up. And that's just, until I get a motor for it, it is what it is. It's that's the least of my concerns.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's definitely a lot of examining your priorities, right? Because a person can't invest in every single thing right away.
Oh no.
So you have to decide what's more important now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I knew power and electricity was going to be really important and going to be a key to boondocking. I never realized how important it is until you have to empty out your refrigerator and throw everything away a couple times. And then you're like, electricity and power is everything. That's a priority.
Absolutely. So are your batteries being, like, do you have separate house batteries for running your lights and everything?
I do.
Okay. And is that being charged by the alternator and solar?
No, that's where I'm running. Yeah. That's where I'm running into issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've been driving a lot. So I was thinking, well, you know, if the alternator is keeping it charged, but it's not Yeah. And see, I had the wiring already for that in the ambulance. I just needed to connect everything.
So that's one of the things when I get to Quartzsite, I'm going to be trying to get some help with trying to figure out how things are wired, because I'm just not sure how they're wired. I didn't do it. And, when I bought this, it's during COVID. And so the tour and kind of the walkthrough was abbreviated due to COVID. So I've been trying to figure out things along the way. And that's going to be a big issue, is what's hooked to what.
A person doesn't look at everything in depth until something happens anyways. Right?
You're right.
You just need to research the solar, Sherry, and then figure step by step where the problem is. You might just need more battery storage, right?
I think that's part of it. I do think that's part of it.
Do you have a charge controller that tells you how many amps is that and how much is pulling in? Because that will really help you to know which side of that charge controller the problem is. Is it with something with the solar panels, or is it down going to the battery?
Yeah, I think it's the battery. Yeah. Aaron's like, more batteries. Yeah, I think we figured out it's probably the battery.
Yeah, I definitely know that I need more batteries. That was something that I did not realize until recently. Like right now I have the diesel heater running and it doesn't take a lot of power, but my batteries are really cold right now, which makes it even tougher to keep the charge. And I'm sure that I'm going to run out tonight.
You have a visitor.
I know. These little boogers, one's sitting at my hip here and the other one's trying to climb up.
I was looking for Oscar, but he's off laying somewhere.
Could be old batteries. They're Desert Air's Adventures in Arizona.
I think they are old. And I haven't been able to get to them because of where they're at. Because I'm in that travel mode and everything's shoved where the battery is stored. So there's a whole lot of rearranging that needs to get done. Like I would like to move my inverter so that I have access to it where it's at now. I don't really have access to it. And I don't really have easy access to my battery. So those are things that I want to get kind of figured out.
Yeah. So Boondocking with Boomers, suggesting that you check out Boondockers Welcome. Is that something? $30 a year for unlimited free camping every night. You'd have water and electric hookup. Now that I'm imagining is what he's learned from other people, because Lance, I don't think you've been there, have you?
Well, not all the Boondockers Welcome have water and electric. It's like Slow Momentum is a Boondockers Welcome site, but they don't do water and electric.
Okay. He says, no, I don't know. Maybe he's going to finish that sentence. Oh, this is part of a different conversation then. Yeah, not every Boondockers Welcome hosts have hookups. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An artist on the road, her puppy dog right there is so cute.
Yeah, what kind of dog does she have? Big one, little one?
Medium size. Little mixed mutt.
Yeah, these guys are crazy. What's it like traveling with a cat? How does your cat Oscar handle it on the road?
He's loving it. He's not having any problems at all. The first few days he would pace around and he has places that he can lay. Like that's the big refrigerator right here. He likes to sit there right next to my driver's seat. So that's the fridge.
Yeah.
So it's a full-size fridge.
Oh yeah, that would be a huge power draw.
Not full-size, but it's big. It's too big. Aaron's like, as long as he gets on this fridge. And then he likes to get on the dashboard, which just makes me cringe. But I have to remember that this is like his home. And so it's hard for me to make, like, say, certain parts are off limit. He doesn't get on the dash as much as he used to. Now he just figures, okay, the van's moving. I'm going to go lay on the bed for a while.
Really? So no agitation, no trying to hop on you in any way?
know.
Well, that's good.
Aaron says, has that fridge moved at all? No, it has not. However, I have 2 dressers in here, and I did dump one of those on
You
a
got rid of one.
swerve away from somebody.
Oh, it tipped over.
It flipped over, yeah. I have 2 of them. One of them is anchored down, and the other one I didn't anchor, and I swerved, and it flipped.
So that's another thing you're possibly looking at doing?
Yeah, I need to anchor that one down.
Trial and error, right?
Yeah. It's so heavy, I figured, it's not going anywhere. And it kind of is in a groove. So I didn't think it would move. And I just hit a swerve, and Aaron is checking on all of his handiwork.
Oh, is he?
Oh. The desk has not budged either. However, Aaron, the outlet that you moved doesn't work.
You just had to share that live.
I fixed it, but it's all good.
You go. Good for you.
Yeah.
Badge says, send him an email, and he's got the address there. He can probably help you over the phone. He does that with people all the time. He's stepped a lot of people through technical stuff, and he explains things very clearly in, well, very simple language you can understand, but he doesn't talk down to you when he's doing it. Mm-hmm. Trust me, I know. So that's why I always find it really nice to contact him, and he's helped so many people from a distance because he can't be south right now. Kathleen suggests putting a shim under the front just to tip it back a little bit until you can get it set the way you want.
That's a good idea. Yeah, it's right in front of, I have the doors that open this way. So you open one and then you can open the other one. Mm-hmm. And I have it in front of the door that I don't normally open. So that's why I haven't anchored it. I was going to anchor it to that door, but there's no place there that I can do it without drilling a hole through the metal. Mm-hmm. Or I could try to anchor it to the floor, but again, it's metal. And then the wall on the other side is the side that's partitioning my bathroom, and there's plumbing.
You have a bathroom?
I have a little mini bathroom.
Really? What kind of toilet do you have? Everybody wants to know.
Okay. So I have a cassette toilet, but I only use it for pee. I bag and double bag, kind of like Ray does. We had the conversation. I had fun with his little 20 comments. I use lavender bags.
Hey, you know what? That makes sense. I have a toilet like that too, but you have to constantly keep putting stuff in it because when 1 and 2 go together, that's when all the smell is.
Yep.
Yeah, so it'd be easier to dump. It'd be, oh yeah, that is a good idea. So how do you line the bag in the top of the toilet, so to speak?
Yep. I do. It has the toilet seat that goes up. I lay the bag in the toilet seat, put the seat down, do whatever I have to do, twist bag, flip it, twist, tie it off, and then I throw it in another bag, and it's gone. Then I don't have to worry about it.
And do you shower in there, or?
I have a shower. Right now we're conserving because I'm trying not to tote around a lot of water. I do have 20 gallons of fresh water that I use for filling up the basin full of water. Right now we're just kind of doing those kind of baths. And then I wash my hair in the sink because that doesn't use as much water. You know, when you have longer hair and you're taking a shower, like that takes a long time.
Yep.
So I can do it quicker in the sink because the water's like right there.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So you have do you have like a kitchenette, so to speak? You're saying you have a sink? Was it already there, or did you put it in?
It was already there. So I have a sink and I have a 2-burner propane stove. I have a gray tank. Lance asked. I do have a gray tank. Um, it's got the shower is built into the main hallway. So when you walk into the van, it's got a recessed floor, and that
Okay.
recessed floor is lined and it has a drain. So I
Okay.
open up a couple doors for privacy. They kind of open that way and they lock in. And inside there, I bring the shower curtain around. I have a fantastic fan to vent and I can shower in there. And then it just drains right
Oh.
out into my gray tank.
Oh, that sounds perfect.
Yeah,
Sounds like a really good use of space.
it is. It is.
So what kind of vehicle are you driving for those that don't know?
A road trek van. It's a class A or class B. Sorry.
Hmm. So did you know right away that that's what you wanted, or did you look around a lot? How did you even go through the process of figuring out what was going to be your home?
I was looking at B's or C's. The idea of an A scared me a little bit, just because it's so big, and just the windshield and driving it is just totally different.
Hmm.
Class C's, again, it was like the whole space issue. I really didn't want to have to drive anything huge, and I wasn't positive, but I was pretty sure it was going to end up turning into like my driver.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I can't park Class C easily. I can't go just anywhere with a Class C. So it pretty much knocked me down to a Class B.
Yeah.
And I can fit this. This is long enough, or short enough, I should say. I can fit in any parking space.
I'm noticing a few people saying that a road truck is Canadian.
It is.
So is it insulated? That's my first go-to question when I hear it's from Canada.
It
Is it
is.
really well insulated then?
It's pretty well insulated. I've got a couple of holes, but it's holes that were man-made.
Yeah.
Or nature made. I have a couple little rust spots in the floor that's kind of hidden that I need to go in there. And, I'm finding all the little breezy spots because in Florida, I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't feel the breeze coming
Hmm.
through. And now it's, 20 some degrees at night. And I'm feeling the little breezes coming in.
So what are you doing to stay warm, or what is your plan to stay warm now that you're experiencing cooler temperatures?
So I do have a buddy heater I haven't used yet. I haven't had to yet. That I can close my door to where my bed is at. I have a twin size bed, but it's in a full size bed area. So one of those doors that open, I can open one of those doors and it closes my bedroom off. So that keeps a lot of the warm air from me and breathing and my body heat. It keeps it in that small confined space.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps. And then I have a lot of blankets. And it's good until you have to get up to go potty.
Yeah, no kidding.
I opened up the door this morning and the cat's in there with me. And so he's all curled up, but I opened up the door and he just thinks, "Oh, it's time to get up." So I open up the door to go to the bathroom and he goes running out here, turns around and runs right back, jumps in the bed like, "Uh-oh."
Oh,
It is
that is
cold out
funny.
there, Mama.
A whole new experience for Oscar too.
It is. And it's so small in here though. I go to turn the propane stove on just to boil my water to make coffee. And I mean, it already it takes, 5 degrees off, to warm it up really quick.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good.
Yeah. So I haven't had it yet.
Is it going to warm up quite a bit during the days where you're staying? Like, is there quite a swing between the night and daytime temperatures? I've never been.
Yeah, so right now I think they're around 30 to 40 degrees at night and then 50 to 70 during the day. It just depends because it's the desert.
Uh-huh. That doesn't sound too bad, right?
No.
Yeah, and you're insulated well. Do you have air conditioning or fans or anything like that?
I have a window unit, so it runs off of 110 for an air conditioner. And then I do have fans.
Do you actually use that air conditioner much? That will take a lot of power.
I used it when I was hooked up to shore power, but I will not be able to use it. Yeah, I won't be able to use it. boondock.
Mm-hmm.
Not unless I really up my solar game.
Can you stand in your road truck?
I can.
And how tall are you, Sherry?
I am 5'3".
Oh, you're just an itty bitty thing. Oh, you have lots of room. It's like it's made for you.
Yeah.
See,
Aaron stood in it pretty much.
I'm 5'8".
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
saying
know.
Aaron stood.
Huh. Yeah. Perfect size. How tall is Aaron even? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Short women
I
unite
don't know
couple
how tall
sizes.
are you, Aaron? He was standing up in it. I think his head touched,
Mm-hmm.
but
If I
he,
stand straight in my ambulance, my head just skims. My hair just kind of skims. But
yeah.
oh, Aaron's 6'1". Oh, then it's yeah, yours is much higher than mine is. Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Mm-hmm. I can sit up in the
Wow.
bed without touching. So
And
it's,
do you
yeah,
have storage room underneath your bed?
I have storage under my bed in the front. And then when I open my back door, so I have the back window and a back door that opens. When I open that, I have more storage underneath that's on
Okay.
the outside. Kind of like a outside garage area.
Mm-hmm. So for anybody that's watching that hasn't checked out Sherry's channel, it's Fantastic Travels. And my moderators have been dropping the links every now and again. And it is in the video description if you want to go back later. Because I just feel like your channel was already good before. I feel like it's going to be so much more now following along with what's going on for you
I'm
that I don't want
having fun.
anybody to miss it.
I'm
Right?
having fun. I have a lot to edit, so I have a lot kind of backlog of editing. But yeah, it's been really fun.
Mm-hmm. So Lance wants to know, are we getting a full tour video soon?
You will be. Now that we did
Ooh.
all the, I've done most of the modifications. I'm waiting for the refrigerator. So
Mhm.
that's the one thing that I'm waiting on. Once I get the refrigerator put in, there will be the tour.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done any renovation in there yet?
Oh yeah. It came with, it's like a regular van. So it had the two, like, the driver's seat, the passenger seat, and then it had two seats in the back. And I pulled out both seats in the back and the passenger seat. I gutted all that.
Oh, you
Um,
don't even have the passenger seat. You got rid of it.
I got rid of
Okay.
all of it because for me, it's just me.
Yeah.
Storage is most important, making it functional. So I had to come up with ways to make it functional. It had a microwave that came out because I'm not going to be using a microwave boondocking, and
Yeah.
I will be boondocking almost exclusively. So I thought there's no point in taking up all that space. So the microwave came out to make room for more storage.
Well, that's good. That's really
Yeah.
good. So we only have about 20 minutes left. So I want to ask you, you've been doing this for a while now, and there's the good and the bad and the ugly. What are some things you think that I should know before I start?
That's tough because to me, I think you've got a pretty good grip about what's going on with your rig. I think going out there and taking a lot of short trips and really like testing all your systems
Mm-hmm.
is really, really important. I wish I would have done that a little bit more. It turned into my daily driver, but I didn't treat it as my daily driver for a while. I almost was scared to just drive it. So I would put off taking grocery trips. I was trying to like not go places because I thought, oh, that's just so much work to do, having to put everything down and unplug and do all this. And I wish I would have done that a little bit more because I think I would have worked out some of my kinks a little bit quicker.
Okay.
So I think taking a lot of trips.
What about when a person's on the road? Is there anything that surprised you or that you realized you need to be aware of?
I think as a female, we're automatically in tune with what's around us. So I think following your gut,
Mm-hmm.
just being super observant as to what's around. I drive very defensively. I'm always looking at what other people are doing and trying to always make room for the idiots that are out there. You know, if I see congestion going on, I'm not going to go up there and join them. I'm going to back off and you guys can have fun up there. And I'm going to stay back here and be safe. You know, just
Been there, done that.
yeah,
That's funny.
you know, we do a lot of walking around the vehicles, making sure everything looks good. As far as tires are going, I mean, all that stuff that you normally you know to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think as a female, and it's probably sexist to think that, but I know for me, I am not a mechanic. I don't know how to fix this thing. If something were to go wrong, I don't know how to fix it. I'll try to figure it out and I'll YouTube it, but I don't know how to fix it. So I think being super observant to everything as much as you can. You know, the noises. What are the normal noises of your engine? What are the noises of your engine when it's stressed? You know, we're figuring that out.
Yeah.
The gauges, like paying attention to your gauges. Okay, well, normally I'm running at this and this is what it looks like. Well, when we were hitting the mountains today, you know, I noticed a couple of them were creeping up there. It's things that I just have to observe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jill's wondering too, as a female traveling alone, what's your best piece of advice? I mean, you are in a caravanning situation, but just imagine, you know, you guys were separated a bit more.
I always make sure I'm parking where I have a light. I don't want to park someplace dark. I'd rather deal with a light in my window than being in a dark place. And again, it's observing. So if I hear something outside, I'm looking. If I got nervous, keying the ignition and go. And, you know, I've already had the conversation with Gypsy. I mean, we both have decided, you know, our safety is better, is worth more than anything that we can destroy on the way out. Like, if we feel like we are in danger, we leave.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have to follow our instinct. And there's been a few times that we've stayed at places that I've heard things. I didn't sleep good one night because I heard a lot. There was a lot of walking around going on. And so I didn't sleep. And I'm looking at all the windows. I sleep with my phone, and I also sleep with the alarm for the van. So at any point I feel threatened, I will hit that button and an alarm will go off. And I think that's, you know, things like that to set up. Yeah. And if you don't have an alarm, they sell them where you can have a remote and you can hit it and it's like an air horn. I think as a female, that would be good. Or even a male.
Well, anybody, right? I mean, anyone can be outnumbered. Anyone could come at you with a weapon or who knows, right? I mean, it's not like that's an everyday thing, but I think you can enjoy your time better if you're prepared for the worst.
And you know, there's a crazy guy walking around outside right now. I just looked at you know, when I go to bed at night, I know my doors are locked. You know, I have my routine. I lock my doors. They can't get in my passenger door because there's a refrigerator there. So some loser tries to break in that door, they're going to end up with a bunch of crap falling on them because I got stuff shoved in there. You know, they can't get in they can't get in the driver's side door because I have the chair moved around. So they're going to open it, but they're going to run into an obstacle.
Yeah.
My other door that they could open, I make sure I have something in front of that. So again, it's like, it
gives you that little bit extra time.
Yeah, I would be more aware. You know, I would hear more noises.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lisa says that there's cameras and motion lights. That's one of the things I have on my Christmas light is solar powered motion sensors.
Yeah,
mostly to freak people and animals out because I won't know from the inside that they've gone off. Right?
No, but I think that's a great idea. Like, I think having something set up like a ring light, or not the ring light, the Ring doorbell, things like that. I've seen other vans have.
Yeah.
Any kind of camera, because you could then hook it to your phone if you have Wi-Fi, and if you hear a noise, you could just pull it up look at it and go, okay, no, that's just, the person that's parked over there.
Then you don't have to peek out windows. They don't have to know for sure if you're in there or not because you can see.
Yep. And I also think making noise. So if you hear something outside, start talking to yourself like you're having a conversation with somebody. Just do it loud.
Damn it, I told you for the last time. You need to take that garbage out.
We have walkies during the day that we use, and that would probably be pretty funny. We could turn on our walkies and we could sit here and talk to each other.
Oh, we have another question for you. Do you have an exit that you can bail out of the bathroom?
I do. Right by my bed.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would climb over stuff, but I could get out.
Well, one of the things that Badge did with mine, because my one lock wasn't working, so we traded them out, but it's set up. I can get out my back doors, but you can't get in.
I like that.
It won't work to get in. I could be trying with anything. I can't get in the back unless I want to pry these things open. But from the inside, I can get out.
That's smart. Because you want to be able to get out, but you don't need to get in. You can come around and get in.
Mm-hmm.
So I
also like, and I'm sure you probably do too, that we're each in units that we can, if we hear noise, you just walk without exiting it.
Yep.
Straight to the driver's seat and go. Do you back into places so you can drive out better, or how does that work when you're stopped at night?
Most of the places that we've pulled into have been pull through. Now, when we go to the truck stops, we usually go nose to nose. So she'll back into the spot because she's bigger, and then I will pull in nose to nose. And then I can just back out, and it makes it easier for her to pull out. But that's just how we've done it. The last truck stop we went to, I kind of was rethinking that. I think next time if we do it, I'll back in, because I watched a few tractor trailers and they're awesome. But I watched a few tractor trailers out my little window come really close to nailing me. And if somebody were to just swing wide or hit me, I am right there, and that's my bed. And so if I'm sleeping there at, 2 o'clock in the morning and, a trucker is a little sleepy, that could probably not end well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody's saying you definitely need to always have an exit out.
Yeah.
Tracy, Traveling Granny, says, I talk to myself all the time, so I'm good here.
I do too. I yell at myself. I praise myself.
So what has been the most exciting part of this journey for you, Sherry?
Learning how strong and powerful I am, and that, oh my gosh, you're going to make me tear up.
I all of a sudden just felt where you were going with that. Like I just felt it on my heart because I know what it means, right?
Yeah, you know that feeling.
Yeah.
When you set up a goal and you do it, and it's just like, oh, I did it.
And the obstacles on the way just makes it more wonderful when you've finished it.
Yeah. I mean, our very first day, I was a dumbass and totally underestimated. I have an antenna on my roof, and I got wedged in, and I'm trying to back up and wiggle out so I could get turned back around. And I knew where the antenna was, but I misjudged it, and whack. Pieces fell from the inside, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's not good. And I can't get on there. I can't see. I don't have a ladder that's attached. So I'm climbing as much as I can and taking pictures and then looking at it, and I'm like, oh man.
But look at how you adapted. You thought to reach and take a picture to look. That's so smart.
So I'm like calling Jeanette, and I'm like, oh, this isn't good. And I have to drive. I was in Florida. And I had to go to Georgia on the interstate with this thing flapping. And all I could think of was, it's going to snap. The wire is going to snap because it was only held by a coax and a little tiny wire. It's going to snap, and it's going to go through somebody's windshield. That's all I was thinking. Jeanette's like, it's going to damage your solar panels. I'm like, it's going to go through somebody's windshield. And so, I was really, really stressed over that. We pulled in, it was too dark, and we were both too tired. And I was like, I'm not even messing with it tonight. First thing in the morning, we're going to look at it. So we climbed up on her rig. We pulled it I was side by side with her. We climbed on hers because she's got the ladder, and we looked at it all, and we were like, first she gets up there and she's like, oh, you got to get up here. You got to come up here. And I'm like, that doesn't sound good. That sounds bad. So I climbed up there. So we're in the truck stop with all these truckers going by, and there's two women standing on top of a Class A just pointing. And the next thing was, okay, how can I get on top of my roof so that I could fix it? Because it's done. The damage is done. There's no going back. But I have a 2-inch hole in my roof that I can't go. I can't leave Georgia with a 2-inch hole in my roof.
Yeah.
And we figured out how to pull her rig in and me to back up and open my car door. And I kind of monkey climbed using her ladder in my van. Like she caught me trying to do it without the ladder. She came around the corner, and I'm like foot up on her rig, and I'm like this. And she's like, wait. I have an idea. So for about 30 minutes, we sat here trying to figure out, okay, well, if you do this and I do this and I do that.
Oh, we got a lag for a minute, or I did anyways. Sherry, are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay, good. It's for me, it froze. I don't know if it did for everyone else.
It froze for me too. So we figured it out. I got up there. I clipped the wires. I patched the hole. I know. We did it. And then the next day it was Jeanette's turn. She had an issue that went wrong, and we solved that one on the road.
It's very empowering, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's like, we weren't going to let it get us. We were going to go through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like there's been a lot of things that's been building your confidence and empowering you. And I feel a sense of adventure in you.
Mm-hmm. It's always been there. But it's on fire right now.
Yeah. And you can just see it in your face. You really, I get the vibe even through the computer, right? It's just, it's so awesome to see. I am so happy for you. I really am.
Thank you.
But you need to get a ladder. I need to get a ladder because I just got a solar panel, and I was worried about it flying and hitting someone, and couldn't get up there myself either. And
she
I
was
laughing. A ladder in there.
Yeah, we were talking. We're going to go and get one of those that retract so that I can get up on the roof. But my roof looked really good when I did get up there, so I was really happy with that.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it looked really, really good. And then, like, I was trying to fix something in the rig the other day. One of my cabinets, the little things, that lock when you close your cabinet that keeps it locked so that they don't fly open. Well, from all of the driving, I think it's just worked its way loose. So I went to close it at night, and, it bounced back. I'm like, well, crap, here we go. And this thing is made with very odd screw sizes. So everything is just an off size. So it's not easy to find something to get in there and work it. Ask Aaron. He figured that out. So I managed to get up there, but it was above my head, and I couldn't figure out if I was right. So I'm like taking pictures of it, and then I'm like fixing it, and then I'm taking pictures of it. And I said something to Jeanette the next morning. She's like, why didn't you come over and get my ladder? Instead, you're reaching over your head. And she goes, I have a ladder, a little ladder, but I have a ladder. I can't even think about it. I don't have a step stool.
So you know what? Going Green Mom was asking, do you have a wish list? Do you have an Amazon wish list that you have shared to your YouTube channel?
That's funny because I literally last night put together my Amazon wish list for my van, for the van. So yes, I
Awesome.
haven't posted it yet, but I will post it.
Yeah, make sure it's for sure at least in your about page, because I find that's the easiest to find
Yeah.
personally. That's the first place I think to look for it anyways.
I
Because
had
that
a
would
family member ask me for it. So I thought, well, let me go
Mhm.
ahead and put together a few things that I
Well,
definitely,
Megan is an instigator for it. Going Green Mom, I didn't even realize you could do it. It's so behind in the times. And yeah, she taught me how to do it.
oh, and Lance says the retractable ladders are on sale at Amazon this week.
Hey, good stuff. I have a retractable one on my wish list too. I
See,
mean,
look,
I have
Jen,
a giant ladder in my house or in the garage, but I'm not hauling that with me everywhere I go.
yeah,
It's too big.
yeah, that's the next thing is where do you store something like that?
Mhm. And I've had people like Bad Janelle say, because I was talking about maybe putting an RV ladder on, but they're not usually the best quality. And then another thing to think about is, do you want someone to always have the ability to get up on your roof? I was like,
Yeah,
that is a really good point. I would have never thought of that.
I never would have thought about that either, but you're right. I don't want people on my roof.
And Lance, being the silly guy that he is, keeps asking about what about an outdoor jacuzzi? I think that's probably too much power and water, Lance. Probably the most ridiculous thing.
I think I know what Lance is talking about.
Why? What?
So Gypsy Jeanette had one of those really big luggage racks on the roof of her Class A. And one of the
Okay.
issues we had was her top flew off. Well, it came undone and we had to take the top off. So we ended up leaving that at I guess it was a rest area along the way. And so now she's got a big, looks like a pool. So if it rains, it's going to fill up with water. And so she's like, we got a problem. We gotta, if it rains, this thing's gonna fill up with water, and that's not what I want. So we're gonna go up there and we're gonna drill holes along the bottom to make sure that the water can drain out, because she doesn't want to take that off yet, because then she's got to patch all the holes because it's attached to her rig. And so
Oh.
it would be easier to leave that there for right now and just put some holes in it so that way water won't collect in it. It can
Mm-hmm.
drain. But that's another one of those things that we were like, how do we solve this problem?
This will probably be the last question that we take, as we're at like 2 minutes left. Did your mom think you were nuts for doing this?
Yes, everybody
What?
did. My entire family. Well, my one daughter thinks it's cool. My son thinks it's crazy. My other daughter, she's just like, have fun. But yeah, my mom thinks this is a little crazy. She told me though today on the phone when I was talking to her she said, I never would have done this. I would never have had the courage to do something like this. And I am so proud of you.
Oh.
Yes. So she
That's why
thinks
people
I'm a
think
little
it's crazy,
crazy.
because they're afraid to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We let fear
Exactly.
stop all of the fun.
Yeah. And why not do this? We're only here once. We're only on this earth one time. Live it.
But she probably saw a difference in you since you've been having this adventure of a lifestyle, right? Because you just recently saw her. She got to see you in person and see how well you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's
I
awesome.
promised her that I would talk to her every day.
Mm-hmm. That is so nice. They will all come around. And if they don't, that's okay too.
Because
Because it's
again,
about you now. This is the time in your life. Everything is about you. That's what you need to do.
yeah, you need to live your life.
Mm-hmm.
I raised fabulous children. I have an amazing grandmother, grandbaby. I'm a grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents, are my parents, and they're going to love me no matter what.
Yeah.
I like that. We're only here once. Live every day like it's your last, because it really, I've been there. I've thought I had my last day already, and I'm still here. So I know that feeling.
I love this. Kathleen's like, when the border opens, I'll meet you there in caravan with you. It's a deal, girl. And Boondocking with Boomer is like, great live interview, fabulous guest. I know, right? I just, and there's so many directions we could have gone with this. I know we probably could have had both of us in tears, but we're not going to do that,
I'm not
right?
doing that.
No, but I am so proud for you, and watching what you're doing and overcoming and the strength you're finding is very empowering to me. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being such a wonderful role model to others.
Oh, thank you. And I think you are the same. I think the same of you.
Aw. Till we meet on the road, darling.
We will too.
Yeah.
We will. I have no doubt.
I'm just looking at some of this stuff. Yeah, a lot of people spend most of their life raising their kids, and now things are up to you. And it's sometimes a person feels a really, really lost all of a sudden when you get to put yourself first. Because like, well, what do I even want?
Guilty. Guilty. My kids, I love my children, and they might be on here watching. I doubt it, but I love my kids, but how many grandparents and parents live in the same town as their kids? Not many. Most of the time, kids grow up, they move away, and that's just how it is. And I want to stay in contact with my children for sure. But just because you travel and you don't live in the same city doesn't mean that you're no longer a mother or a grandmother.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not all inclusive that you have to be right there and see them every day. There's great things now. There's Zoom, FaceTime. There's so many different things now that we can do.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree. Everybody has just loved getting to see this interview with you. Guilt. Yeah, the feeling too. Thank you, guys. I think it was fantastic. Sherry was just like the perfect person to have up here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I'm glad we got this to work.
Yeah, it ended up turning out pretty good. It was better once I came in the house.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure who's live next. If we could rate somebody, do you know who's live Monday nights? What time is it? It's 8.
I don't have YouTube open because I didn't want to open anything.
Yeah, I don't have anything else additional open today either.
Oh, Traveling Granny's crying now.
What? I didn't see that. Aww.
Traveling Granny, I'm going to give you a big old hug when I see you too.
That's what we all need to do, men and women, is empower one another and have each other's backs and support others that want to live their dream, because there's a lot of people doing this that don't have the support just because people don't understand it yet.
Yeah.
Right? So,
and Jeanette came from New Hampshire. So she drove from New Hampshire to Florida or to Georgia by herself. So for her, she's been driving since December 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
The RV
Can
DJ.
moderators drop the RV DJ's link, please? She's also having a birthday live stream on Saturday before mine.
Oh,
so that's where I'm going to be before my live stream.
I have to figure out once I get there, once I get to Quartzsite, exactly like the time frames and trying to do my lives again, because I have missed doing lives.
Yeah.
Awesome. Mayhem RV. That's funny. Whatever.
That's personal opinion.
That was a cutie patootie.
Mayhem RV is such an instigator. I just have to meet him. Okay.
There's a van that has followed us the last 2 stops. It's weird. Like every time we stop, they're there. And I know they're not following us.
Is it men or women or?
It's a man, but I just had to look at that picture to make sure it wasn't Mayhem RV.
Take a picture of their license plate, and if you can get a picture of the person too, that might be a good thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything bad. I just think they're heading to the same place we're heading to, and there's not that many places to stop.
It's good that you're being aware that you're recognizing that's another thing, right? Are you noticing the same people always around you? Is it an issue?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, we are going to say good night. I'm going to let Sherry get some rest. Thank you, Sherry, for being here. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for
Paula.
being here. And let's have a van. Oh, and Sherry, yeah, definitely. It's about time now. And send that picture to someone else with the license plate and the person.
Okay.
Right? You're safe. It's not him.
Good idea.
All right, you guys, let's raid the RV DJ, and we'll do a Van Vita raid, you guys. Thanks so much, everyone.
Sounds
Have a wonderful night. Much love.